Hi, my loves. Let's read the Gita together. You know how I do. I will flip to a random page and we will read. And this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? Okay. Should we pray before? Yes, we can take the time to pray. Okay, cool. Let's open it. Are you ready? Okay. Sit down. Here we go. What do you need to know right now? Wow. All right, we're gonna get deep, okay? Are you ready? So if you don't know what the Gita is, Arjuna, who's Krishna's friend, is asking Krishna. You can see the picture here. He's asking Krishna for help because he's a warrior. He's a Kshatriya, and so he has to fight his friends and family because they're on opposing sides. And so he's asking Krishna for advice. He's disturbed. He's like, what should I do? And Krishna's like, do your duty. And so the whole premise of the book is Arjuna learning about who Krishna is. He asks all the important questions for humanity to understand the personality of Godhead, you know? Because we cannot understand God unless God tells us who he is, right? So this book is full of that. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. By the way, if you are like any religion or like it doesn't matter, like you can literally still listen to this and it'll apply because God is one. God is oneness. God is all. Okay, thank you so much. Here we go. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Why? Because the intelligence is not there. Like the consciousness is not expanded enough. It's not evolved enough, and it's not on the same vibrational frequency to understand God. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Gita. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna, as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. Whoa, this is like a straight up clearing to like anybody who came across this video that cannot understand this. Like, you gotta dip now, babe, before it gets serious. You know what I mean? Because even while reading this, I was thinking, am I qualified to read this? Like, because it says like the state of overthinking that leads us away from God is a serious sin. I do that all the time. Like, I do that all the time. So like I don't know if I can, but like I grew up with this. So I'm going to but yes, let's hope I'm qualified. Let's pray for my qualification in the future. How about that? All right. Okay. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects: as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last the supreme personality of Godhead. This is like very like intense if you don't understand it. So the supreme truth, universal truth, is realized in three aspects. Number one is as impersonal Brahman. Okay, so like we can see it as layers. So the impersonal Brahman would be like the top layer. The localized Paramatma, Paramatma means super soul in Sanskrit, okay? And at last, the supreme personality of Godhead at the most intimate layer. So when people say that God is not a person, they're incorrect. God is a person. And that's what the supreme personality of Godhead shows us, you know. A common man, or even a liberated man, who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand God's personality, because God's personality is so difficult to understand. You know, he doesn't have human emotions, or he doesn't have a human mind, you know. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person, the bottommost layer, from the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan, or they accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet, one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Buddha Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. Wow. And even if one I love this so much. Okay. It's just so like scintillating, and it's just so heart opening, you know. He is being addressed here in many different ways for all of his aspects and qualities, right? Deeper and deeper still. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Deva Deva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the I love it. Even if one knows him as the worshipful god of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. Wow. Crazy that we just started with this. Arjuna says, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna here has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have, and through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalists in particular concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. Seema, can you read? Like, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. Hold on, okay? Why am I reading like a third grader? It's just so deep, you know what I mean? Okay. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies, okay? So one should know this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. So what did I just say, right? Arjuna is asking these questions for people to understand. And the amount of cows that have gathered, like, there's so many cows right here. Like, 11 of them. I should show you. This is hilarious. Did you guys know that there are cows like 2 feet away from me? Okay. So Arjuna says, O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Right? How do I conceive you, you know, in my mind? How do I understand you? As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yoga Maya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general process by which the all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Common men, including the demons and the atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yoga Maya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he's a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for the common man the understanding of the all-pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. He addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin, because Sri Krishna is the master of the Yoga Maya energy, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic persons of this world. The words keshu keshu kabhaveshu refer to material nature. The word bhava means physical things. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they're advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. And I did this. You know, when I was in the beginning of my spiritual journey, I would do this. I would say, okay, Krishna, like, you are like this bag, you know, you are like this person I'm speaking to, you are this object, this car, you know, everything. And it works. Oh Janardana, again, Arjuna is saying, oh Janardana to Krishna, because that's one of his names. Again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I'm never satisfied in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. A similar statement was made to Shuta Goswami by the rishis of somewhere by the rishis of Naimis Sarain. Oh my god, I'm butchering this. By the rishis of Naimish Sharanya, headed by Shunaka. That statement is, one can never be satiated, even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna, I love this so much, relish at every step the descriptions of the pastime of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, the first chapter, first canto. Thus, Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amritam, nectar, is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar. The cows are still here, by the way. Do you want to see? It's like a whole situation. There are cows and birds and like, I just love how they came here when I was like amping it up, you know what I mean? It's so cute. Okay. I'll include this footage somewhere, but they're all here. Okay, whatever. As far as Amritam nectar is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar, and this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of the incarnations of Godhead. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh, despite repeated readings. The Supreme Personality of God, and interesting because like I wanted to read the Gita today. Like I didn't want to do a reading today, you know, because I was thinking along the lines of this content is like forever applicable, and readings, like I like to think that the readings that I do are like timeless pieces of information, but I felt that this was more valuable today, you know. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Yes, I will teach you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless." So God is saying that his opulence is limitless. So how can we understand that? You know what I mean? Like to a common man who lives in their ego, they would think, oh, like Krishna is like full of himself. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why the human mind cannot comprehend God. Right? One time I tried to put somebody onto the Gita and they read a little bit of it and they were like, oh, like the whole time Krishna's just talking about like how amazing he is. They didn't understand that God is telling you who he is for your safety, for your ability to go to him, for your understanding of him so that you can form a relationship with him. We are so fallen, like literally, because we wake up, we eat, we sleep, we shit, we repeat. Like we have no, I shouldn't swear when I'm holding this. We have no concept of spiritual ideation. Like we have no idea of eternality, you know? We have no idea of Krishna. We have no idea of God. And so like, you know, everything else that is not pure transcendental relationship with God is garbage, truly. And we've just been infused with so much garbage, you know? That's why I want to help people create passive income for themselves so they have more time to do this, you know? And understand God and understand who they are in relation to God and solidify that relationship with God so that they don't have to take another birth. My resolution is like liberation for the globe, okay? It is. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Yes, I will teach you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless." So how merciful he is, right, to give us the best of him, or the most succinct, so that we can understand him. It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. I just talked about this. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotee as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different many sons. Wait. Wrong page. I skipped one. Hold on. Of his different energies. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyata, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all. And vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls this whole manifestation. This whole manifestation, the multiverses. In the Amar, I think, right? Hold on. It is not possible, right? Yes. The whole manifestation. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which Krishna controls the whole manifestation of his or wait, I was right actually. No, of all of his manifestations. Does that make sense? So Vibhuti is the opulences by which he controls his own manifestation. In the Amara Kosha dictionary, it is stated that Vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energies. Both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Every variety. That's crazy.